Hi, I'm Candace. I'm so glad we're here today to practice Pilates for the arms. Remember the purpose of Pilates before we get started. The purpose of Pilates is to control the muscles so that the whole body is in balance, so that we use the powerhouse. Remember, these are the muscles that wrap around the midline to cinch us in, to protect the internal organs, and to uplift the spine. So let's start with a breathing practice. As you inhale, float the arms out and up. Remember, arms always rotate outward. As you exhale, bring the arms down. Now, you don't ever have to turn your palms down. So if you want to go through life with your arms turned up, like, I don't know, that's fine with me. So I'll make sure that you keep the space around the shoulders and the neck nice and open. Stress usually lands there. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Really take that breath in. Really expand the rib cage out. So then this time, we'll wrap the arms around the body. So a nice big hug. And then begin to wiggle and roll the shoulders around. So Pilates for the arms applies all those same principles, a really strong core, so that we have movement, not action, but movement. Let's stretch the arms out and back. Action is just going somewhere, something's happening. Then wrap the other way, so wrap around and do that same thing. Swim the shoulders around. Keep going. And then take the arms back, behind, stretch that chest out. So for a second, push the chest a little bit further forward and wing the shoulder blades back. So sometimes the scapula or the shoulder blades are called wings. So that's a really good way to think of them, is like a wing. They can fold back behind and they can wrap around to the outside. So do this. Take the arms forward, almost like cross the arms, but then ignore the arms. I want you to focus on the scapula wings opening up and going around the rib cage. Picture the rib cage like a barrel. So you're trying to get those scapula pulled apart, those wings opened up. Take 2 deep breaths in. Remember, we're still opening up. Now I want you to breathe the upper back. And then release. So practice spinning the arms open and taking those shoulder blades and spinning them open and back. So I'm going to do this with the hands, kind of like, I don't know. Is it raining? I'm going to keep doing this, but really what I'm doing is I'm moving the shoulders to open up the chest so that we can breathe again. One of the big aspects or principles of Pilates is a full deep breath. So we usually start out with that big breathing practice to get the lungs prepared to light the fire, to ignite the core muscles so that we can control the muscles with our direct attention. Remember, action is just like kind of doing something. But movement is under the direct attention of the mind. Not always conscious mind, but the mind. Good. Grab your band. I'm going to come off this blanket for no other reason than you probably think there was a reason I was on it to begin with. There wasn't. I just landed on it. If you have these bands that are stretchy, remember there's different tensile strengths, but usually they're within a range that almost any band will do. You want a band, though, that's long enough. I cut mine really, really, really long because some of you are super, super tall and we've worked out together just so that everybody, you can use that length. So you can use just part of it. There's one way to make it shorter. Let's loop that band around a foot. So kick one leg out in front of you and loop the band around it. So some of these bands, I don't know if this is one. Oh yeah, this is super short. This is what they call a broken band. So you may have to go and invest in one that's a little bit longer, especially if it breaks. They can break. Now practice that looping with the shoulder. Spin it out and open. Remember that I don't know. I don't know. Now you can move, kind of annoy the shoulder by doing this too much. Hold the shoulders down. Protract them out, that is, open them out. So if your hands have to be up, that's okay. That's okay. And now row the elbows back towards the body and forward. Row back. Now begin practicing the Pilates scoop. So if you have to stop all this action with the band, please do that. I don't want you to get confused by this. When you exhale, you're scooping the belly inward and upward. So picture a bowl. Picture a plate. And then you're going to scoop out the plate so it becomes a bowl. And as you know, there's different types of bowls. Some of them are relatively shallow, like a saucer, and some of them are sort of, they're scooped out, and then some are really deep bowl, like a mixing bowl. So you go from a plate to a saucer to a bowl, like a soup bowl, to a mixing bowl. Every time you pull back, your shoulder blades go down. They stay wide though, and you scoop the belly in. Elbows graze next to the sides of the ribs. Do 2 more. Focus on the core, pulling in. So movement is directed action. Hold back, pull the shoulders down. Now just little pulses back. So little squeeze the abs, squeeze the abs, squeeze the abs. Exhale, 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 exhale. Pump energy into the belly. Exhale, exhale. Shoulders down. Notice how your shoulders start to rise like bread. Don't let the shoulders rise. Keep them down. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go right on to the other side. You doing okay? One leg out. Usually this band goes around kind of the ball mounds of your foot. It could hurt a little bit if it's in your instep. And if it's all the way up at your toes, I've seen this, it'll flip off your toes and hit you in the face. So make sure it's hooked on there. Do that practice where you're opening up the shoulders. Exhale, open the chest. Exhale, spin the shoulder blades open. Exhale. 2 more times. Practice this opening of the shoulders. That will help in all of your endeavors. Hold there. Then pull and release. Pull. Remember what happens when you pull with your arms. What we're working is the rear deltoids, the lats, and a bit of the upper trapezius. Pull. But you have to consciously contract the abdominals so that they move up the spine. So remember that bowl rises in and up. With every exhale, in and up. Even if you just practice doing this little action, then you'll just hold there and you walk around all day, squeezed in. And what Pilates does is makes long, lean, smart muscles that support the joints and keep them mobile. What else is there? Can't overemphasize how important, how profound good health is. 2 more times. Exhale. Nothing else matters, in fact. Hold back. Shoulder blades wide, now little pulses. So we're pumping. Exhale, 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 exhale. So find that delicate balance between too much effort and too much ease. You should be awake by now. 3, 2, and 1. Good, so release that. Let's take a second here. Take one arm across. Rock the head away, circle this wrist, and then open and close that hand. Circle, open, close. Our hands are always grabbing all day, so we want to make sure that we take the time to actually work, thumb to each finger. Do that a few times. And then to the, what do you call this, the little mound underneath, so your thumb's getting a little extra work. And then switch to the other arm. Arm across, circle the wrist. I'm so happy today. This is a good workout. I always love a really good workout. Then open and close the hands. We get to come together. Like I said, it's raining out, so I'm like super happy I don't have to go out. I am going to go out later. Then here's where you touch the thumb to each finger. So this is directing the mind. This is that neural connection. And then to the pad there at the palm, I don't know, it doesn't really reach each one, right? But it's just going a little bit. And then release. Good. Let's come down to the back. Roll all the way down. For a moment, we'll leave the band as is, where it is. Bring your hands to your belly. I want to go back to that scoop, because really in Pilates, if there was one thing that's really important, it's connecting your mind to the core. So first things first, the core are the muscles that wrap around, go up and down, and go at big diagonals. There's the diaphragm muscle on the top that's going up and down, that's pumping the lungs and pumping with the heart. And then there's the pelvic floor muscles at the bottom that are containing all of that. But for the moment, focus on the big muscle going around. With your hands on your belly, make it move. Make it move. Maybe you're just squeezing and releasing. Maybe you're noticing part of it is contracting and part of it is not. So if you have nice thin clothing, kind of palpate, feel around, and notice if you can notice what direction are the muscle fibers moving. Don't get too technical, just notice, oh yeah, there's something over here happening, something over there happening, something around there. Or does it feel like one big, rubber tire? I can't believe she just said I have a rubber tire around my waist. Now squeeze and hold. Now here's the work. Imagine the center point, usually it's around like your navel, and drop the navel, or that center point, down. So if your hands are making like a diamond shape, the center is going down, down, down in 3 like levels. It goes down 1 level, goes down 2 levels, goes down 3 levels. That's that deep hollowed out bowl. Hold that there and then release. Let's do that again. Exhale. Now we're adding the breath. Drop the navel down level 1, drop the navel down level 2, drop it down level 3, and hold. Now here's the hard part. Keep breathing, but also stop tensing the shoulders, stop tensing maybe the hands, and most of all, stop tensing the neck and the jaw. So breathing, stop tensing, but now awaken a path from your brain to those abdominal muscles. Have your abdominal muscles released in the time I've been chatting. Now relax them on purpose. One more time. Exhale. Belly goes down 1. Level 2. Level 3 and hold. Keep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Untense, this whole, barber shop area. The jaw, the neck, and the shoulders, that upper body. Now begin to notice the low back. I want you to squeeze the low back, even if that means arch the spine just a little bit, like something very small is trying to walk underneath you, and you're just trying to create a little bit of space there. Squeeze, release, squeeze, little, squeeze, release. Now keep breathing. What we're trying to do is unify the mind to all of the different muscles that may support, control, and provide the anchor for the other movements, like we're going to do arm movements. Now squeeze the front and the back evenly. Hold steady and still. Bring the hands to the floor. Now purposely push the arms into the floor hard. Levitate one leg, knee over the hip. Squeeze the abdominals again. Levitate both legs, knee over the hip. Push the back of the arms into the floor hard. Now bring the heels together and push the heels together. Now try opening the knees and closing the knees. So heels are the fulcrum that are moving, or the pivot point. How about that? And inner thighs, outer thighs are equally balancing this movement out and in while the arms are pushing down. So movement is something that you do when your mind is paying attention. Action is just, something that's maybe reflexively, or you're just certainly not coordinating everything. Intention with the movement. 3, 2, practice Pilates scoop. Now kind of pulse the legs out, out, out. Keep pushing the heel bones together so they're pushing in as the knees are going out, out, out. Arms are pressing down hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. Take a couple of slow, easy breaths. We've been going hard. I've been doing action, 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 and making sure that the mind has stayed. So give the mind 3 long, steady breaths. All right, begin to make your way up. Safe way to do that is roll to your side and push off the floor. We're going to come to hands and knees. If you were with me for the yoga class that went with this class, we did a lot of action, we did a lot of movement in hands and knees and plank poses, and I got the sense it was a little bit too much. I actually did get the sense that when we did things like when we came to the side and we bent one elbow, it was a bit much. So I'm going to take it a little bit slower today. Do the same action. Remember this one? Roll the shoulders out, back, and down. Roll the shoulders out, back, and down. Roll the shoulders out, back, and down. Now, coordinate that with the navel pulling in and up. Shoulders out, navel in and up. Then, once you've got that and it's all spun open and pulled in, add zippers. Zippers up the side body, zippers up the front body. You know what a zipper does. It pulls two pieces of material together in a really strong, woven way. Hold that now. All those zippers are zipped up now, right? Turn your toes under and push the feet into the floor. Now focus a little bit more on widening the tops of the shoulders so that any muscle there, any flesh there, maybe you have a shoulder pad on today, that doesn't push into your body. So pull that out. 2 breaths here. Micro bend the elbows, press into the fingers, and then push back into child's pose. So your feet, they can still be flipped under. There's a valid stretch for the fascia on the bottoms of the feet. Then crawl one arm forward and reach that arm. Now that hand that's out in front, push the palm down. Movement is directed action. So you're taking your mind and you're making a deep connection with right now the latissimus dorsi. Those are big muscles on your back that control the movement of the arm. Go to the other side. One arm forward. You're kind of on the elbow of the other arm. What would feel good here for the neck? So do that. And then we'll come up. Let's grab that band again. Now I happen to have a band that's not quite as strong, so I'm going to go to that lighter one. You choose yours. You're going to put your hand on the band. So your hand is holding down the band as if somebody's trying to take it from you, and you're holding it down, saying, "Nuh-uh, that's not going anywhere." So hold that down. With your other hand, grab the band. I'm going to crunch up the end so that it makes a little ball for me to hold on to, and then I'm going to push the elbow back and up and forward and down. So I'm purposely moving the shoulder blade now. This is not just a triceps, but it's a stability exercise for the shoulder blade. I'm teaching that shoulder blade how to, start a lawnmower. I'm teaching the shoulder how to move. So we don't walk around like robots where we have, the shoulder stuck and we just move the arm really, small range of motion. We always move the entire body like one big spring. Everything is connected. So that's okay to move the shoulder as long as you're not hiking the shoulder up so high that it's compressing. So you're not moving the shoulder in. You're moving, if anything, out and back. Another reason I like these bands is that you can change your grip. You can twist your arm without having to get a new piece of equipment. So I'm twisting my arm a bit out, palm facing the floor. So one way easy to remember this is that your thumb is always sort of pointing up, towards your head. So we're never really spinning the arm bone in. It's always up towards your head. So always thumb. Nice thumb. 2 more times. 2. Now if this band will allow you, take the arm out. From the front it looks like it's just a little bend in the elbow. And then I'm going to try just twisting my spine and untwisting. So one side chest is rising and the other is staying, as the pivot. We're back to that pivot concept. So I'm not necessarily just taking the band and opening up. I'm working around the ribs. I'm working around the waist. This is an abdominal exercise. So we're twisting. Now exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So your body is like a spigot where you're going around, revolving around the channel of the spine. Keep the shoulder blade down. 2 more times. Boy, we're really feeling this. This is like those low back muscles. And then come down. Let's go to the other side. So remember, one hand is holding that band down so that nobody can pull it out from you. Other hand crunches up. Now here's how we do that lawnmower pull, I guess. You remember this. You got it. Another reason I like the bands is they're isotonic. What? Somebody pouring a tonic? No. Isotonic, it means that you can vary the resistance along different parts of the exercise. With a dumbbell, we're always lifting up against gravity. So gravity is always the force. We're always going just against that force. Whereas with a band, we can switch the forces around. Fancy. It just means it's a different exercise for the muscles. Keep the shoulder open. What happened to your Pilates scoop? Remember I said if there's one thing that's important in Pilates, it's that you're maintaining the scoop. 2 more. Scoop the belly to the spine. Keep the neck long. Then, if you can, take your arm out to the side. So if you don't want to use the band, please let go of the band. Maybe put your hand on your shoulder, then twist open and then closed. The work here is in your low back and the side waist abs, but also around the shoulder on the floor. So don't get caught up in what's happening with your hand and if you're pulling that band. That's okay. Most of us don't need a lot of work on our upper trapezius. That's that big back muscle, looks like a huge diamond. You ever see those people with a big back? Most of us don't need that. Fashion's not really made for that. 3, squeeze your abs in. 2, and 1. Put the band down. Come around to a seated pose again. Come into it. This is a nice, easy pose. Let's breathe again. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Keep going. Keep expanding the ribs. The more responsive that muscles are, the more that they will move, the better. So there's little muscles in between the ribs that actually move the ribs. So the rib cage can move without you breathing them. Those are kind of separate things. And in fact, those muscles in between the ribs, they don't really breathe you. It's the diaphragm muscle causing a decrease in pressure, air pressure, that forces those ribs open. It's not really the muscles doing it. 3, 2, and 1. From there, let's sit. Bring the feet to the floor in front. Cross the arms, forearms together, and then practice rolling. When I'm going to say halfway down, that's about when the top rim of your pelvis touches the floor. So you really have to rock the pelvis backward to get there. Then curl and roll your spine into it, onto itself, and then back up. So roll. Keep the shoulder blades wide. Keep the abdominals scooping inward. So take the navel and thread it up underneath your rib cage. Then roll up. This time, levitate one leg. Try again. Who knows? Roll. Candace, I could have predicted that this was going to be harder. And up. Try the other leg. Levitate, scoop, roll. Remember to about the top rim of the pelvis. Curl and round up. Try again. Levitate. Roll. What a great job. I get to tell you to levitate, like I have a magic wand here. And you do it. I say levitate that leg and you do it. And then you roll and scoop. And you're practicing a deep connection in the action of the abdominals to support and uplift and hold the spine. That's a lot. That's a lot. I can't tell you how immeasurably fantastic that is. That you have the ability. So 2 more times. You're saying that was enough, I think. You might be done. You got to wait for me to do 1 more. Because I go slow. All right, let's try this. Spin the arms back behind you. Press the fingers to the floor. And I think we did this in the beginning. Push the chest forward more and more and more and more. Now pull the arms and the shoulders down more and more, like your arms are driving into the earth more and more. Nice pectoral stretch. Take some breaths in. Really understand and appreciate that when I say take a deep breath in, and then when you take the time to do it, how good that feels. Oxygen is what the brain really wants. It wants glucose, that is sugar, too, but it wants oxygen, and that's all around us. So take that deep breath in and take the time to appreciate that and go, wow, that really felt good. We're pausing to tune in to appreciation, gratitude for health. Health is in the body. Good. Let's come around to hands and knees. Now just practice spinning the arm bones open and not closed, but not open. So open and then back to normal. Spin open and back to normal. So if my hands were moving, I'd be twisting out and back to center, twisting out and back to center. But my hands aren't moving. So this forces the radius on the ulna. Those are two bones in the arm, the forearm. And then, of course, I'm trying to think, what is this called? I know it's something funny. What is this arm one called? Humorous, that's it. I honestly was thinking that. It's something funny. They all twist together. Now hold them all open, funny or not. Press into the fingers like you're squeezing something, and then move to downward dog. So turn the toes, lift up, press back. Keep those arm bones spun open. Your choice here, lift one leg or leave it down. Keep those arm bones connected and strong. Either that leg is up or that leg is down. Try bending your elbows a little and then straightening. Try that. See if you can do it. Maybe you can. Maybe the answer is I came right down onto my hands and knees. So do it from hands and knees. Down and up. We're really challenging and testing the serratus anterior. That's a muscle underneath the armpit, attaching to the ribs, that stabilizes the shoulder blade complex. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Then that leg, whichever leg, step it forward and through to low lunge. Pause for a moment to take the stretch, the leg bones moving apart. One moving forward, one moving back. I'm going to go ahead and say Pilates is something you have to do to understand. It really, really is true. I don't know that Pilates is quite as profound as some of the breathing meditative exercises we do in yoga, but you definitely don't understand what Pilates is until you try it. I've had that a lot. People come up to me and say, that's not at all what I thought it was. In a way, it's much harder than what I thought it was. We're going to bring the back knee down and then grab the band. I'm going to go with the thicker band for this one. And step on it. I'm going to turn towards you. You can see what I'm doing. The front foot is stepping on the band. You can't see that. And then the other hand is holding it. Then I'm going to bicep curl. So I have this hand on the elbow, on the knee here, and bicep curling here. I'm going to get back into lunge so that I'm also getting the stretch on the hip flexor, on the back leg. The goal of Pilates is to balance, to control the muscles, to affect the balance of the body. Not just the bones, but the organs. They have to have space to live in there too. Bicep. You could double your band. You could really, fold it in half a couple of times if you want. That would make it much harder. But stay in the range that feels good. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to release the band and then push the hips back. Did that hamstring just let you know, I needed this stretch? I'm going to circle this foot around. That always feels good in my ankle. Maybe circle again the other way. Take in that breath. The value of oxygen in your body is just immeasurable. Flex the foot back. If you can reach, pull the toes back. I'm breathing in. That's all you're supposed to do. Breathe in and breathe out. That's all that's required of you today. All right, let's come back to hands and knees. That same exercise, spin the arm bones out and then not out. Spin open and then release. Twist, release. Twist, release. Now integrate that twisting with pulling the navel up, pulling the navel up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and hold. So notice the tops of the shoulder blades are open wide. Squeeze the floor with your fingertips and then lift up to downward dog. All right, so maybe this time it's no surprise what I'm going to say next. The other leg can stretch up and back or leave it on the floor or come down to hands and knees now that you know what's coming. Spin those arm bones open. Here we go. Try bending your elbows and then straightening them. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Okay, maybe you're in hands and knees. No judgment here, guys. It doesn't matter. As long as you're using intelligence and you're directing the action to create healthy movement. 2 and 1. Good, then step through, come to low lunge. At first, receive the stretch. That is, one knee goes forward, the other heel is pressing back. Well, this is refreshing. This is a refreshing workout today. Let's drop the back knee. If you want, grab the strap, the band, step on it with that front foot, crunch up the other end in your hand. I'm going to come up some so I can make this nice area. Stabilize the elbow and then bicep curl. Push the hips forward. Gee, I wonder what the shoulder blades should be doing now. I think you know. Spun open and pulled down. I wonder what the abs should be doing now. Yes, scooped in, zipped up, holding the spine. Keep reconnecting to a deep hollowed out bowl. You'll remember that was one of the first things we did was focusing on those 3 connections, those 3 layers of pulling down. 3 more. Squeeze your abdominals. 2 and 1. You'll release that and then push the hips back. Once you get there, if you want, circle your foot around. Whoo! The other way. What's your spine doing now? Good question, right? It's being straight. Whenever you have a question, really, I don't know what to do with this joint, put it straight and have it supported. Just like, what should I do now? The first thing you do is you go sit down. Same thing. If you can pull these toes back, try that. Good. We'll come around to a seated pose. Go slow. Woo! Grab the strap. I wanted to set this up. And we're going to put the strap like below the tips of the shoulder blades on your back. Oh, look, you can see because I have a little hole there. This is still fashionable, by the way. As of this date, when I recorded this shirt is still fashionable. A couple months it'll probably be gone. And then I crunch up the hands. I crunch up the ends and the hands. Don't wrap around, over time. Don't do that with your dog's leash either, by the way. Your dog pulls and you'll break your hand. Come down. More important with the dog leash than it is here. And then chest press, push up. So you may have to choke up, and push. This hurts your back, don't do it. Some people have sensitive skin, on their back. And I've had that question, well, this hurts, should I still do it? Should I still? It's not worth it. It's not worth getting like that rash on your back, that rug burn. Don't do that. All right, as you're pushing up now, Pilates scoop down. As you're pushing up, Pilates scoop down. Let me give you a little preview. The next exercise we're going to do is the roll over and roll over prep. So begin thinking that as I push up and my abs go down, the back of my spine is lengthening out through my tailbone. So as you push up, belly down, back of the spine lengthens. So it's almost like you're rocking the pelvis under or backward. So be thinking about that. I wonder what the shoulder blades are doing. I don't know. What are they supposed to be doing? She hasn't told us yet. Spin them out, pull them down. Spin them out, pull them down. Now hold the arms up, hold the abs in. And then we'll release the arms. So we'll take the band out. We'll forget the band now. No more band. And then we'll practice the Pilates roll over. So the purpose of the Pilates roll over is to articulate the spine. You know, nobody wants an inarticulate spine. Shoulder blades down. So you may have to like scoop them and like smush them into the floor. Lift the legs up. Scoop. Draw the knees in towards the chest. That should round the low back a little bit. Now, with your hands pushed down a little and lift your hips up a little and then release down. So we're going to go really slow, step by step by step. Engage the abs. Tuck the shoulders under. Press the hands down. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Just round your low back a little. Press your hands down and lift your hips a little and then release. So do that again. Abs in, shoulders down, push the arms, knees in, hips up, and release. Now don't go too far. In fact, it's better if you sort of hover instead of flinging. So getting the control. Again, the whole point is articulation so that you would speak well and that your spine moves well. It's okay to use your arms to really push down to try to make this happen. Now do all of that, lift up but hold this time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If this is bothering your neck, you're relying too much on your upper kind of abs, pull the shoulders onto the floor, try to relax the neck and the head, and then release down. Wow. Now bring the legs together. Twist so that the knees go in one direction, your feet kind of turn in the other, so your knees, hips just twist it. But do the same exact thing we just did. Squeeze the abs, pull the shoulders down, press the arms into the floor, draw the knees towards your chest, lift the hips a little bit and hold, and down. Twist the other way. Scoop the abs in, push the shoulders down, press the arms to the floor, draw the knees in, lift the hips up a little and hold, and down. Okay. Twist, squeeze, press, pull in and lift, come down. Twist, squeeze, press, pull in and lift, and down. Again, twist, squeeze, press, pull in and lift, and down. Again, again, again. Twist, squeeze, press, pull in and lift, and down. Now just at the center. You ready? No twist. Squeeze, press, pull in, lift a little higher, and down. Squeeze the abs, press the shoulders, press the arms, lift up a little higher, and down. Keep going. Exhale, roll up, and down. Exhale, roll up, and down. Exhale, roll up, and down. Keep going. On this exhale and roll up, hollow the belly and then down. 2 more. So you exhale, you roll up, but you hollow the belly and down. 1 more. And release. Stretch long, wall to wall. Good job. You really earned the stretch and the Shavasana. So taking 1 more stretch, maybe knees to one side. And maybe twist the other side. And then when you're ready, move right into Shavasana. Let all the muscles begin to soften off of the bones and the joints. Begin to untangle those tight spots. Begin to loosen the threads, the tendrils of tension. Feel everywhere in your body that you can feel. Feel expansive in every direction. Begin to acknowledge that there is an inner wisdom, that well-being is always close. In fact, it's always part of you. And you rest here feeling well, feeling restored. You feel comforted in the wisdom that well-being is right here with you. All you have to do is take a breath to take it in. And so you decide to rest here, sitting quietly in this wisdom. You ask nothing of it, and it requires nothing from you. Nothing from the outside, no teaching. No one else's experience has the profound effect on your body and your wellness as you do now. Connected to the well-being that resides always close inside of you. Breathe the breath, breathe the body, breathe the wisdom. Now carefully take a deep breath. Begin to fill all the little channels and spaces, all the little cells, and then let that breath go. And all the little cells in your body begin to vibrate and sing in tune with the harmony of well-being. Slowly and gently invite yourself to roll onto your side. Inhale, fill, fill, fill the body. When you exhale, open your eyes, push up and off the floor. Come up when you're ready. Stretch up. Reach the arms out, back, and down. Inhale, lift the ceiling. Exhale, you're all done. Good stretch. Good work today, everyone. Thanks.